Oh, oh, hey there. Didn't notice you. I was just admiring my beautiful, fantastic OCs. Look at them all. Don't you just love them? I know I do. And not only do I love my own OCs, and they are beautiful and fantastic, I won't lie, I love other people's OCs as well. If only there was some sort of, oh, I don't know, annually occurring event where I could see and draw other people's beautiful, fantastic OCs. Some event where we perhaps, I don't know, do battle by drawing each other's OCs, fight, and an art fight, if you will. If only. If only there was something like that. Yeah, so Art Fight is starting tomorrow, and I wanted to spruce up some of my older OC designs to get into the fighting spirit. During this video, I'll explain a little bit about what Art Fight is and how it works, and of course, I'll yap at you about my OCs, so hope you're excited for that, and let's get into the speed paint. So, to prep for Art Fight, I wanted to paint some new portraits for two of my OCs that I felt should be getting a little bit of an upgrade since they've been designed quite a while ago. The first one here is my OC Chalice, who I originally designed way back in, 2016, 2017, and I redesigned her along with another character in 2024. I do have the 2024 design process up on my channel, so do feel free to give that a look if you'd like, and I will pin it at the end of this video. But obviously, please watch this video first. Please and thank you. Thanks, haha. Anyways, Chalice, along with most of my characters, is built into this dark fantasy world I've been tentatively creating that has some vague lore attached to it. Any new character I add that has a sort of dark fantasy aesthetic, I just sort of fit them into this world and think about situations in which they might have interacted with other characters so that they're more cohesive as a world building set of characters. But pretty much her deal is that her and her partner Vesh are bounty hunters who are contracted to deal with tracking down monsters and occasionally humans. Vesh has expertise in the monster hunting department, whereas Chalice here is better suited tracking down humans, and their personalities and the way they interact with each other do sort of reflect this dynamic, with Chalice being more of an outgoing people person, but still pretty intense and slightly unhinged because, once again, she is a bounty hunter, and regular adjusted people don't just become bounty hunters. I've kept Chalice's outfit more or less the same for this portrait, but I did decide to divert from her normal braided hairstyle, one, because I did not feel like drawing braids, and two, because I did try to draw the braids, I didn't think it looked that interesting with this sort of side profile thing going on here, so I thought a different hairstyle would just add more to the piece. So I imagine that the Chalice in this piece, who has very short hair, is what she looks like right before meeting Vesh and beginning to work with him. I think she's pretty recently had some sort of accident, which has led to her losing her braids and getting the scars on her face and neck, and she's definitely a lot angrier than what her 2024 design depicts. Don't get me wrong, 2024 design Chalice, who's technically present time Chalice as opposed to this prequel Chalice, she's still like kind of unhinged, but this one has a lot more anger and trauma in her that she's not quite worked out yet. But since her lore isn't super fleshed out, that's about all I have to say about her character, and now I'll tell y'all about the wonderful world of Art Fight. So for those of you who are familiar with Art Fight, happy almost July. I can't wait to see all your beautiful characters. And for those who don't know what Art Fight is, it's basically a yearly competition happening during the month of July, which when this video comes out is tomorrow, so I'm cutting it pretty close. But it happens during the month of July, and participants split into two teams usually and do battle by drawing each other's OCs. So if you quote-unquote attack a participant on the opposing team by drawing their OC, the submission gets scored through a number of criteria. It's mostly based off the complexity of the piece, and then you get points for the submission, and those points are added to your overall team score. So by the end of July, the team with the most points wins for that year. I personally, and I think a lot of people are like this, but I don't really care about the actual winning of the art fight. So I usually attack OCs that I think are cool, even if it's a person on my team. I will still attack them. I am the poster child for the rule of cool. I do not care if it's cool. I'm into it. It's a really fun event because you get to see a lot of really cool, take a shot every time I say cool, unless you're underage. Take a shot. Anyways, you get to see really cool designs, and it's an event that focuses solely on original creations, which isn't really something we see being boosted all that often on everyday social media platforms. Don't get me wrong, I love my OCs, I love making original content, you probably know that by now, but you can pretty much bet 9 times out of 10 that between making fan art and making original content, the fan art is going to be more popular on most platforms. So it is really good to have this sort of opportunity every year, and I love to see that throughout the years so many more people are getting involved. Usually Art Feet I'm leaving that in. Usually Art Feet has 2 teams with the themes changing every year. Art Feet, oh my god. So for example, the ones I've participated in are Team Moon vs. Sun in 2017, Coffee vs. Tea in 2018, and then I had a huge gap where I barely drew, so that's fun. But then Seafoam vs. Stardust in 2024, and Fossils vs. Crystals last year, though I didn't actually have time to attack anyone last year, so I guess that doesn't really count, but I was on a team. I was on Fossils. As for this year, there's actually 3 teams, and the designs for them are super, super cool. It's comedy, mystery, and tragedy. I chose Team Tragedy because I do love a sad piece of media, but if you join after July 1st, you'll be randomly sorted onto a team, so I guess do be aware of that. I'm really excited for this year, and I've already picked out some characters I definitely want to draw. I do have to be realistic though, since it's only a month-long event, and I tend to draw pretty slowly. I'll probably be good for like 4 attacks max, maybe 5 if I decide to do a couple of traditional art attacks instead of digital. In any case, that is the gist of Art Fight, but if you have any questions about how anything else works, do feel free to comment, or of course you can take a look at the official site since they probably explain things a lot better than I can. But here we are, we're almost finished with the Chalice piece here. Just a little note on the style, I have been getting some questions about how I render my pieces, and let me tell you, I don't really know how I render it because I just like to go. But for this piece in particular, I was really working on adding interesting values into the clothes especially, because I've noticed that a lot of my colors tend to be very desaturated. If you watched my recent Sona video, girl was so desaturated, and I'm keeping it, but it was kind of bad. So for this one, I tried to add more vibrant purples and deep reds to the shirt to add some more interest there. And then for the blue parts, I was trying to make it look more like a shiny material, maybe like leather, but also semi-opaque. I don't really know how to explain what that material is, but that's what I was going for. So I added some neon purples that I used throughout, and then I used the same purples in the skin tone as well to just make everything look a bit more cohesive. And at the end, I did decide to add a neon background because I just can't help myself with the rim lighting. So I definitely added some rim lighting here, as you can see me doing, and just a small little border. And yeah, this is Chalice here. This is a nice little portrait. I'm glad I got the opportunity to do this. I think it looks pretty fun. I'm pretty happy with it. And now we're gonna move on to the next one. Alright, so for this next portrait here, I wanted to draw my absolute favorite little guy, Senev! Oh, Senev, I love you! Senev was also designed in 2024, so I must have really been in flow state that year because he's my favorite character I've ever created. I think the design and the colors I chose are super fun, and while I could probably do better with the composition and painting style now, I don't really have any edits in terms of the design. I think it's great, I think it's fun, I love him, and I wanted to draw him again. So for this portrait, I really just wanted to take the opportunity to paint him and to show myself that I've gotten a lot better at painting faces and drawing heads at different angles. Me and the front-facing angle, we've been close friends for quite a while, very, very close friends, but I do think it's time to broaden my horizons, expand my horizons, so Yeah, while these two pieces are very much in my comfort zone as an artist, I still do try to learn something or challenge myself somehow throughout each process. So for both of these, I decided to do head angles that I probably wouldn't have been able to do 2 years ago. Let me tell you, side profiles, still my op, but I'm working on it. Senev's lore is pretty simple insofar as I don't have very much of it fleshed out. By all accounts, he's a down-on-his-luck noble who's trying to maintain the facade that he still has money, but he does not, in fact, have money, and he also has a lot of problems. But according to the rumors at court, the only real wealth he still actually has is his many-colored peacock cloak, which may or may not have magical properties, and he's definitely not going to give it up anytime soon, so by all accounts, yeah, he's destitute. Now, whether or not Senev is actually destitute is debatable. I think it's all just an act to keep the other nobles from actually taking him seriously, so that he can either swindle them or get information from them. So while Senev might be poor in terms of monetary holdings, he's got a lot of sway when it comes to brokering information, which makes him more dangerous than initial appearances might convey. I think he purposely comes off as flippant, but he's not actually like that. He's even had some interaction with Chalice and Vesh, as he occasionally contracts them out to look into people, threaten them, whatever the job entails. So while Senev, Chalice, and Vesh aren't necessarily good people, it sure does make an interesting story, so I hope you like that. Now, I know I did totally just talk a big game about how much better I am as an artist than I was 2 years ago, which is definitely true, don't get me wrong, I have improved. But for some reason, I actually really did struggle with this portrait, which I was not expecting at all. I did it second because I thought it was going to be the easier of the two, and then there was just something about it that I was really struggling with. I'm not exactly sure what, because I think I did the skin fairly well. I think I did a good job. Part of it is, I think, the textures I struggled with. For one thing, I don't have a lot of experience drawing curly hair types, which I was sort of going for. It's not exactly curly, wavy, I guess would be a better word, and that's the kind of hair type he has, and I'm realizing that I should definitely work on expanding my ability to draw different hair types, because this was a struggle. And even when I did get somewhere, I was okay with it, which is not quite yet. I fiddle with it a lot from here on out. I still, when I look back on it, I'm like, there's just something not quite me in terms of the painting style. It's just not exactly how I want to paint it. So I definitely do want to keep working on making more diverse hair types and painting those and just getting better at textures. And the same thing is true for the peacock cloak, which I will get to momentarily. But the top of it, the blue part, is meant to be more of a, how do I say, a spiky texture, like not actually feathers, maybe something like fur. Whereas the green parts is where the peacock feathers come in. And once again, I guess I don't render fur that often, so it was something I struggled with a little bit. And, references are definitely your friend during times like these. Absolutely. If you don't know how to paint something, look up blah 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 drawing reference online and go find an artist you like and go from there. That is super, super helpful. That definitely saved me for this one. But it was still kind of tough, and I'm just realizing every time you do something, even if it's not something you think is going to be hard, you'll still find parts of it where you think you could do better, parts of it that you want to improve on in the future. And I think that's part of what keeps drawing fresh, is that everything is a learning opportunity, which can be sort of scary if you're just starting out. You feel like there's so many things you don't know. But I think it's, for me, what keeps making art and continuing a channel like this fresh and interesting is that there's always something you can improve on, there's always something you can get better on, and the best part of that is if you're documenting it, you can look back and be like, wow, I definitely couldn't have done this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I can now, so I've definitely gotten somewhere. And that's, for anyone who wants to start YouTube. I got a lot of comments in a previous video that people were like, yeah, I totally want to start. And I was like, yes, do it, you should. I think that's the best part, is that you can look back and see how much progress you made, and that over anything else I think is super validating, so definitely would recommend it. In terms of what I am doing on the screen, painting here, that I am doing that, yes. If you have any questions about my painting style, how I'm doing it, please let me know. How I'm composing things, how I paint faces, anything like that. I would love to explain it. And someone did ask me how I render in a previous comment on a video. And so I do plan on talking more about my rendering style in a future video. But any other questions, please ask. I love to yap about art. I think it is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I hope more people get into it as a result of this channel. And now, because I have yapped about art enough for one day, I will be taking the time for Book Corner, my favorite thing ever, Book Corner, because I've read some recent bangers, like so good. So I recently read God's War by Kameron Hurley, which is set between two warring Islamic fantasy countries, sort of sci-fi. And the magic is all bug related, which I thought was super cool. So the cars run on bugs, like walkie-talkies, radios run on bugs, everything runs on bugs. You can heal through bugs. I thought that was super appealing. I've never really read anything like that. And the main character, Nyx, who's sort of an ex-bounty hunter assassin, she was really a really good character. She has a lot of trauma because it deals with how people have to mentally deal with war. But she was super appealing, and there's a second book, so I might read that soon. But that is God's War by Kameron Hurley. And at this point, we're at the end of the video. Both portraits are done. I'm so glad that I got to finish them both before Art Fight, so that my little characters in Art Fight have a new and improved appearance. And for those of you who are participating in Art Fight, I can't wait to see you, and I'll definitely be posting about that in the future. So happy July, everyone. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!